What if one of the most important tournaments in the global tennis calendar was built in the middle of the desert, on top of one of the most dangerous fault lines in North America, under extreme heat, under seismic risk, under environmental pressure, on the edge of the San Andreas Fault? On paper, that sounds like madness. And yet, in that landscape of instability, Indian Wells became what many now call the fifth Grand Slam. It is known across the sport as Tennis Paradise, a nickname that suggests luxury and escape. But paradise does not emerge by accident. It is engineered. This is not just a stadium in the desert. It is climate-controlled, structurally reinforced against earthquakes, and strategically positioned within a global calendar that has been shifting for more than a decade. In modern tennis, power is not only decided by trophies, it is decided by who controls where the world must play. Today, we explore Indian Wells, how it was built, why it matters, and how it quietly reshaped the architecture of the modern game. In the late 2000s, the professional tennis calendar was quietly rebalancing. China was expanding across both ATP and WTA circuits, elevating tournaments like Shanghai and Beijing into strategic anchors of a growing Asian swing. At the same time, the Middle East was accelerating investment in elite sport, using infrastructure as a tool of global visibility and long-term influence. The tennis calendar was no longer just scheduling. It was geography converted into leverage. Every Masters 1000 event represented broadcasting rights, multinational sponsorship capital, tourism revenue, and narrative control. If a major tournament relocated, the consequences would ripple across preparation cycles, commercial, ecosystems, and media power structures. By 2009, Indian Wells stood at a crossroads. Financial instability made relocation a real possibility. If it moved, the early season hard court swing could tilt decisively eastward, reshaping not only tournament placement, but the balance of influence within the sport. That is when Larry Ellison intervened. In 2009, he acquired the Indian Wells Tennis Garden and immediately began stabilizing and expanding the complex. This was not symbolic, it was structural. The clearest signal came in 2014, when Stadium 2 was completed as part of a major expansion. Built in roughly 10 months, it demonstrated urgency, capital, and long-term intent. Ellison did not simply rescue an event, he anchored it. He prevented a shift in gravity within the global tennis calendar and preserved what would soon solidify its identity as the unofficial fifth Grand Slam. Ownership alone does not secure influence. A tournament must become indispensable. Indian Wells achieved that not through prize money alone, nor through prestige, but through environmental engineering in one of the most unforgiving climates on the circuit. The Coachella Valley is dry, volatile, and physically demanding. Even in March, temperatures can exceed 30 degrees Celsius. Hydration cycles accelerate. Electrolyte balance becomes critical. Recovery windows narrow. The desert extracts energy. And yet players repeatedly describe this place as paradise. Why? Because comfort, precision, and competitive fairness have been deliberately engineered into the environment. Stadium 2's partially sunken bowl reduces crosswind interference at court level. Wind destabilizes the ball toss and alters trajectory. By lowering the playing surface below grade, the stadium creates a controlled microclimate. Air density adds another layer. In the evening, cooler air settles into the bowl, increasing aerodynamic drag and amplifying spin. Indian Wells is widely regarded by players as one of the slowest hard courts on the global calendar. Rallies extend, topspin thrives, patience prevails. This is not accidental. It is physics interacting with architecture. Lighting is equally critical. The desert sun produces intense glare and sharp shadow contrast. Strategic orientation and shading reduce visual distortion, stabilizing depth perception during high-speed exchanges. Architecture does not merely host the match, it shapes it. And when conditions feel fair, consistent, and uniquely demanding, prestige accumulates. That is how a Masters 1000 event begins to be spoken of in the same breath as the four majors. Perhaps the most underestimated element of the complex lies beyond the court, the PTFE membrane canopy covering the food village. Polytetrafluoroethylene reflects up to 90% of solar radiation, while still allowing diffused daylight to pass through. Beneath it, harsh desert glare becomes controlled illumination. But its real strategic value lies in airflow. The canopy's geometry enables a passive chimney effect. Warm air rises and escapes, drawing cooler air upward from shaded zones below. Natural ventilation stabilizes temperature without relying entirely on mechanical systems. The microclimate becomes controlled. Spectators stay longer. Sponsors activate more effectively. Energy efficiency improves. And, for players, even marginal reductions in radiant heat and environmental unpredictability reduce physiological strain. In elite sport, marginal gains matter. The PTFE canopy is not aesthetic. It is environmental leverage. And environmental leverage is part of what transforms a desert venue into what fans proudly call tennis paradise. Built near the San Andreas Fault, the stadium's octagonal geometry distributes seismic forces across multiple axes. Stress is diffused rather than concentrated. Earthquakes are anticipated, wind is managed, heat is redirected, instability is negotiated. A tournament constructed in seismic territory becomes structurally resilient. What appears to be madness becomes mastery. Today, Indian Wells attracts more than 450,000 spectators each year, making it the most attended combined ATP Masters 1000 and WTA 1000 event in the world. Players structure their preparation around it. Broadcasters depend on it. Sponsors embed themselves within its engineered hospitality ecosystem. Fans travel from across the globe to experience what they call the fifth Grand Slam. Relocation is no longer a credible threat. The tournament has become undroppable, not by tradition, but by design. The desert tournament built along a fault line has become structurally fixed within the tennis calendar. Tennis paradise is not just branding, it is infrastructure turned into emotion. So, what truly secures dominance in modern tennis? Is it trophies? Is it rankings? Or is it control of the calendar? What happens when climate is engineered, uncertainty is reduced, and a tournament becomes too valuable to move? What happens when architecture shapes the physics of play and the geopolitics of the sport at the same time? What happens when a venue built in the desert, along a fault line, begins to carry the gravity of a major? Indian Wells may sit in seismic territory, but its position in tennis is anything but unstable. It is design, it is strategy, it is permanence. I'm Arch, and this is Architecture of the Game. See you in the next blueprint.